torn my pectoral tendon. It ripped right off the bone, and that was pretty much rock bottom for me. I was able to manifest my dream job and then 3x my income once I got to that job, all by doing Joe Dispenza's meditation. What's up guys, Nico Rapkalis here, and so glad to have you on this video. I made a previous video about Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. You can watch that right here if you have not watched that yet, but I want to share this story about how I manifested my dream job and then also 3x'd my income from that job, all from Joe Dispenza's meditation. It's a really powerful story, and then I'm also going to share with you the 2 specific takeaways that I got from these meditations and his books, and the one thing that's actually stopping most people from manifesting their dream life using Joe Dispenza's meditations. So with that last bit being said, is the only other thing I'm going to say is that we're on a 90-day spree on making 90 YouTube videos in 90 days of quality, valuable content around manifestation, about law of attraction, about law of assumption, all the things that's going to help you become a best version of yourself. So if you'd like to follow us along the journey so that you can become a magnetic manifester, just like plenty of the people inside of our Skool community, then subscribe to the channel. And then if you'd like to join our community where we go live every single week, we'd love to have you in there. All the links are down below. Let's dive into this story about how I manifested my dream job and 3x my income, all by using Joe Dispenza's meditations. So this was actually at a period of time when I was probably at my very lowest. At the time, I actually had just ended a relationship with my girlfriend at that time, and it was like the first time that my heart had really been ripped out, and it just hurt a lot. And it was the first time I experienced that, and therefore it felt like a truck sticking, just plowed over, right? And so that was hurting enough. But the other thing is that my business was actually crumbling at the time. I was doing a lot of affiliate marketing at the time. I had no passion for it anymore. That was crumbling. The only thing that was actually going well in my life was I was working out at the gym and I was putting on some strength and some size. And then one particular day I decided to push it just a little bit, and I was bench pressing, and all of a sudden all the weight just fell right back on my chest because I tore my pectoral tendon. It ripped right off the bone, and that was pretty much rock bottom for me. I had to have surgery like in the next 2 days. Mind you, I didn't have health insurance, so I was paying all out of pocket, and I was just completely broke, right? Not only broke financially, but broken in every way possible. And it was a really challenging time in my life. And then in addition, I was actually staying with my parents because I had just flown back to Colorado. I was living in Arizona at the time, but I had just flown back to visit them. And then I was basically sleeping on a recliner for about 2.5 weeks after I had surgery. So just in shambles from my perspective. And that's when I finally actually had time to not do much at all, because I was just sitting there. I hopped on pain meds for a while. I got off of those pretty quickly because I didn't like the way it made me feel. But then I realized that I wanted to just start diving in and really going in on myself. And I finally had the space and the time because I wasn't around any friends or any of that kind of stuff. And I was just simply there hanging out with my parents. And so I really dove into this book, Becoming Supernatural. And what's really cool about this book is that there's a lot of meditations in this book. Right? It's a lot of meditations in this book that show you how to actually raise your frequency from a neuroscientific level, and it really backs it up by a lot of science and helps you understand why this stuff is so powerful. So he takes you through a lot of these. So now I want to explain and discuss what are the 2 biggest takeaways that I got from this book, and then I'm also going to be discussing one thing that I think blocks most people from actually experiencing these type of results that are so powerful if you really, really master this. Okay, so one of the biggest things that I got from this book is clear intention with an elevated emotion. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. Clear intention with an elevated emotion. And again, I talked extensively on my book review of this book. So if you have not watched that, again, I would strongly recommend that you go check that out after watching this video. Okay, but clear intention, elevated emotion. Clear intention, elevated emotion. You know, some people will get it right with they're like, all right, I have the intention, I know what my goal is, I know where I'm going, but they miss one of the most important parts, which is the elevated emotion, right? What is that love? What is that gratitude? What is that peace? Whatever it is, you have to get clear on what is that elevated emotion that you choose, that you really want to experience, right? What is that? So getting clear on where it is, like what is your goal? What is your intention? What do you want to do? Like, and then what do you want to feel? What do you want to feel? And because I was able to consistently start doing this, like I said, manifested a dream job. It was, I just got away from all the affiliate marketing stuff. And I just decided, for whatever reason, throughout these meditations, I just decided that I really wanted to make money. I really wanted to make a good amount of money doing something I was passionate about. Like, that was my intention. And then the elevated emotion was abundance and peace and joy, all these higher level emotions that I was just stuck in this shame and guilt. Like, and so I got intentional. I wanted to make money on something I'm actually passionate about, that I feel like I'm serving and I'm helping people. And then I wanted to experience abundance, a joy, happiness, gratitude. And I got very clear on that. And every day, since I literally wasn't doing anything, I could just sit there and I could meditate for literally hours on end. And that's the second key, is that I did it consistently, over and over and over again. Because the metaphor that I want to draw here, and this is what I want to get to, and this is again part number 2, and it also even parlays into the one thing that's really stopping most people from getting there, right? And it's that consistency. And so what I think about, what I really got from this book, a metaphor that actually kind of came to me recently, a friend of mine, him and I kind of chopped it up and came to this metaphor, is that, having that clear intention, that elevated emotion, and that's great. You say, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be clear that I want to make this amount of money, $10,000 a month, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month in your business, whatever it is that you are doing. You get clear on that. Okay, great. I want the abundance. I want to feel abundant. I want to feel grateful. I want to feel that elevated emotion. But here's the thing, is that the metaphor that we came up with is that it's like memorizing a song. Okay, let's say that clear intention, that elevated emotion is like a song that you want to memorize, right? And the more that you listen to that song, the more that you embed yourself in that song, the more you just are constantly listening to that song, the quicker it is to memorize, right? And I think that's the same way with your manifestations, with what he teaches in these meditations, is that it's like memorizing a song. But what happens to most people is that they do a meditation for 5 minutes one time, and they're like, that was tough. Oh, I don't know. That's cool. It doesn't seem to work that well, right? But what happens is, like, what if you just listen to a song one time? Would you have that memorized? Would you have it memorized? You might know a couple lyrics. You might know a couple words to it. But what if instead you actually listen to that song every day? What if you listen to that song multiple times a day? What if you listen to that song all day, every single day? And again, the metaphor I'm doing is this whole idea of commitment and consistency, and commitment and consistency. So again, if you look at just your dream life and what you want to manifest, is that it's like memorizing a song. You get clear on that song. You know the song that you want to listen to. You know how great that song makes you feel. It's about engulfing yourself in that song. So meditating, using these meditations. He has hour-long meditations. I mean, you can even search them up on YouTube or Spotify. I've found plenty of them. He has courses. So you can do whatever it is, and you can even put together ones. And I'll even talk to you about a meditation that we have as well, that we've created, and actually an idea that came from this. But I want to finish off this story real quick, is that what happened is I got the idea, once I set that intention that I wanted to make an actual 6-figure income, doing something that I absolutely loved, and I feel like I'm serving and I'm helping lots of people. I got the idea that for whatever reason, I wanted to get into YouTube ads. And I don't even know exactly why, but that I would say that really was a download that came from meditating more. And then I realized, okay, I'm going to go all in on this. And I stayed consistent with it. And then I started building out my own clients. And then I actually, like I said, I actually dropped all of that because I got an opportunity to work with this agency that worked with some of the biggest brands in the world selling education. and I got an opportunity to work with them. So like right away, I knew, I saw the job post and I saw it, and it was like right after I had kind of a hiccup in my business, and I was like, boom, that's what I'm meant to do. And it just kind of gave me this more trust and knowing the more that I tapped into these meditations. And I was like, everything is happening truly for me. And I have a cool metaphor that I'll explain here in a second, but I knew that this was for me, and that I had a client that dropped off out of nowhere. We had helped them, 4x their business in the first month, and they dropped us. I still have no idea why that happened, but I actually do know why that happened. So I was meant to get this other job, and then I dropped everything within my business, got this dream job to work with some of the biggest, coolest brands, and I got to work with these people that I literally like grew up idolizing. They're like my mentors that I've been reading their books, listening to their audios, and then I got to work with them. And then we actually even signed a client, especially after I really got deep into this, and then after I started utilizing another tool that we actually created from the inspiration of this that I'll explain here in a second. After I started using that, we actually signed one of our biggest clients. His name was Russell Brunson. He owns a company called ClickFunnels, and I met him just out of nowhere. I actually got invited to a live podcast. It was a very intimate live podcast in front of a live audience. It was just like 15 of us. And then soon after that, he actually became a client, and we started running his ads. And then because of the fact that we were starting to work with them and spending a lot more money, since my income was based on the amount of money we spent for clients, and that particular client raised their ad spend significantly by triple, my income tripled because of that. But I truly don't believe that any of that would have happened, is because I didn't even have the idea to become a YouTube advertiser until I sat down and I just I meditated, right? And I allowed my mind to calm down, and I allowed to just sit there in silence and just listen to the sound of Joe Dispenza's voice, and just like really get present with myself and have that clear intention and that elevated emotion. And then I kept on doing it consistently day in and day out. And effectively what I did is I memorized that song, and I got into that emotion and that state on a consistent basis of who my highest self was. And then all of a sudden I know it, I'm on these Zoom calls, leading these calls, kind of directing things and helping one of the coolest companies that I ever grew up on, and helping them really start growing their business and getting more customers and clients into their program. And that was just one of the clients. We had plenty of the clients that I was just like, I had to pinch myself every day. I was like working with these such amazing clients. And so as I've been referring to, I also had a really powerful tool that I created, and it's something that we offer inside of our Skool community to all of our community members, and it's called Vision Espresso. Now you might notice that there's actually a chapter in here that's called Mind Movies, and it talks about how there are these movies, these future memories, or these future videos that are basically saying how your life's about to unfold, and you manifested your dream car, your dream relationship. And so I took that concept, and basically what we did is we first had them as videos, but now we've condensed them down to audios, because now you can actually update them very consistently because they're audios. But all you have to do is answer 5 questions. And then after you answer 5 questions, you answer them audibly about your vision, about what you want, about what's your perfect day, what's the lifestyle that you want, what do you want in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. You answer those questions, and then in less than a couple days, we have that audio back to you. And it's just this perfectly articulated story about how your life is unfolded as if it's already happened, and it's in your voice. And then it can integrate simply with your phone, a couple of taps of your phone, or even voice activated, and you can listen to it as many times as you want. And it just exhilarates me and gets me in that frequency, because it's basically take this concept, sometimes meditation can be hard, and you don't want to do it as consistent because you're like, I kind of feel distracted and whatnot. So the whole intention behind that was creating Vision Espresso was to make basically this whole book into a condensed 5-minute audio that's based on your vision, based on your clear intention, based on the elevated emotion, because we always set the intention, the elevated emotion at the beginning of your audio, and you listen to it as you're falling asleep, when your brainwaves are more in theta, meaning that you can slip down into the subconscious, or right as you're going to bed, when the subconscious door is open and you can slip down. And then your manifestations come in easier, they come in quicker, they come in more consistent, because you can be more consistent with your practice of meditation. So that's just what we've created, and it's helped us, and it's helped, literally hundreds of clients at this point in time. But I owe it all to Joe Dispenza and Mind Movies. They gave me that inspiration. I just wanted to make something of my own, and none of this would have happened. I never would have manifested that dream job. I would have just kept on going with my business and just working with clients. But I manifested my dream job, got to work with dream clients, managing millions of dollars in ad spend that I never would have had, and then I never would have transpired all of that into my own tool that I get to help my community with, and I get to help my viewership with, and manifesting quicker and easier and more consistent. That's all backed by neuroscience. And I'm just so grateful for Joe Dispenza for writing these books, for doing the events, and I'm so excited about getting to these events. That's next on my list. We've been diligently building our business, but I even talked to someone today that I got some inspiration, and he's been to an event before, and so I'm proclaiming it that I'm gonna be going to a Joe Dispenza event, probably like a 7-day, 10-day retreat. And as I mentioned on the last video about this particular book, Becoming Supernatural, I actually shared a story about how there was a guy, is actually one of my mentors. His brother met a guy that went to a Joe Dispenza event and became a millionaire in less than 48 hours because he started really understanding the true understanding of neuroscience and energetics, and really tapping into these meditations and your energy that's so powerful. So again, if you have not watched that video, I strongly recommend make sure and subscribe to this channel, because we're going to continue to come out with lots more content around these type of meditations. We're probably even going to start putting out some of these meditations just on the YouTube channel. So for all the subscribers that are subscribed here, you will be updated when those meditations come out. We'll talk about the teachings from Joe Dispenza, other teachings from people like Neville Goddard, law of attraction, manifestation, and then again we go much deeper inside of the Skool Community, where we go live every single week. You can come and get your questions answered. But that's the video, guys. That's how I manifested my dream job, 3x'd my income, and it, like I said, wouldn't have been possible without Joe Dispenza and all the amazing things that was in this book, and how I continue to do it consistently and made it a practice so that I could memorize that song and just be clear with my intention with an elevated emotion. And just the more consistent I was with that, the more my life changed for the better. So I truly appreciate you listening to this video. I trust that gave you lots of value. Leave a comment down below what you got most out of this, and if you would like me to start dropping some of those manifestation meditations, just put in manifestations down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to start actually creating those. So thank you for watching this video, guys. I appreciate you. Keep growing. Make sure and follow me on all socials. All the links will be down in the video description. Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you on the next video.